Fauvism, Cubism, Surrealism and abstract art. The concept of art started changing from the beginning of 20th century. The experiment of Cezanne with geometrical forms of human body inspired Picasso and Braque to develop a style of painting known as Cubism. In the meantime, Henri Matisse took a cue from Gauguin and used warm colors for expression. He was referred as Fauve, which means wild animal due to his use of loud colors. Famous psychologist Freud left a deep impact on the artist with his theory of dreams. Painters like Chirico, Miro and others created images out of their dreams. This style is called Surrealism. The greatest painter in this style is Salvador Dali. The modern art was so dominated by abstract art in the 20th century. Abstract painters created a kind of art in which no form is identifiable. These paintings are non-representational. Kandinsky is regarded as the father of abstract art. Hordes of painters all over the world followed Kandinsky's dictum of abstraction. Henri Matisse. His masterpiece is The Desert Harmony in Red. His masterpiece is The Desert Harmony in Red. Matisse was an expert painter in academic style, but he chose to defy the canons of academic training and started experimenting with expressiveness of colors under the influence of Gauguin. This painting shows how he eliminated perspective to integrate the tablecloth and the wallpaper. Again, the view through the window of the room doesn't have any depth. The whole painting is dominated by a very loud crimson red color which shocked the art critics of his time, and he was termed as a fauve or wild beast. George Braque. Still life composition. When Picasso started his experiments in Cubism, his friend George Braque joined him. The main aim of the Cubist to show the objects not as it's seen but as it known. Thus they studied the object from all the angles and fragmented each part. After the total perception of the object, these were juxtaposed in a composition on the space. This still life by Braque is an attempt to simplify the forms in terms of geometrical shapes. Cubists used very limited range of colors and also avoided the narrative quality of a painting. Juan Gris. His painting, The Guitar. Gris knew Picasso and Braque very well. He became interested in their experiments in synthetic cubism. Gris painted Cubist art not as it had been done by Braque or Picasso. He added more colors in his composition unlike them. This composition, titled The Guitar, is one of his Cubist paintings. There are some touches of shades to give the volume of the object, but they are not empathetically done. The colors are bright and strong. Fernand Léger. His painting, Women and Children. Cubism made many young painters to develop the style further. Léger tried to define Cubism on his own term by transforming the cubes rather into tubular forms. Sometimes he was mentioned as Cubist. The painting, Women and Children, is a variation of Cubist style, in which the figure of the woman is treated in terms of robust tubes. Most of the forms of the object have the same treatment. Léger used the warm colors like the Fauves in his painting. Thus, he recreated a different type of Cubism. Giorgio de Chirico. His masterpiece, Mystery. Chirico was one of the pioneers of Surrealism. Most of the images in his paintings were from his dreams. He created an uncanny atmosphere in most of his paintings. His painting Mystery is composed of two architectural structures. One is under the shadow and other is facing the strong daylight on its facade. The rows of arched doorways and square windows on the top have created a mysterious atmosphere. The mystery is more heightened by the shadowy figure of a girl playing with a wheel. The scene is real and unreal at the same time. It appears to be something beyond the reality. So it is a perfect example of Surrealism. Joan Miro, his masterpiece Carnival. He is a surrealist of a different kind. He didn't depend on dreams for his images, rather, his images from viewing through a microscope. The painting Carnival are composed of many microbes and viruses that one can see through a microscope. His composition unified expression. It is because of its formal qualities of rhythmic line, decorative colored patterns, and a sense of atmospheric tone. Max Ernst, his masterpiece, Imperator. He is another important surrealist painter. Like Joan Miro, he didn't use dream images. His images are mostly taken from his visual experience of tiny creatures on Earth. In some cases, he combined man-made objects with living creatures. In the painting Imperator, he recreated a surrealist image in which one can identify a building structure in shape of a bird with two human arms but balancing on a sharp needle of a spinning top. Max is a painter of surrealistic style, but at the same time, he had an inclination towards contemporary art movement Dadaism. Pierre Mondrian, his masterpiece, composition with red, yellow and blue. After some experiments in Paris with the analytical Cubism of Picasso and Braque, Mondrian began the series of purely geometrical shape. He divided the space into square and rectangular spaces and defined with thick black lines. This painting shows the areas within lines are filled with yellow, blue and red colors. Some areas are left white. Mondrian appeared in this total abstraction after deconstructing and simplifying objects of nature. In his paintings, only some abstract plasticity remained, for which he called his style neoplasticism. Jackson Pollock, his masterpiece, composition number 5. He created sensation in the art world by introducing a kind of painting which is known as action painting. He disregarded all the academic rules of painting. He spread his canvas on the floor and started pouring different colors from the can on the canvas and stirred the colors with sticks to create a spider net-like forms. There is no premeditated layout and definite format for the composition. The canvas is cut out from the length and stretched on the stretcher. For this reason, his painting is called action painting. In the composition number 5, only some strips of colors are visible without any identifiable object. Franz Kline, his masterpiece, doesn't have any title. He was one of the exponents of color field expressionism. A group of painters was trying to exploit the abstract art movement in their own way. These artists wanted to express emotions through the symbolism of colors, while Jackson Pollock painted his canvases instantly without any plan. Franz Kline followed the same technique with broad brushes on huge canvases with thick and heavy color patches. The paintings create a psychological effect of the spectator through its vibrant colors and large sizes.